Dawn breaks across the American heartland. The first golden rays of sunlight stretch across the earth like fingers reaching for something greater. And in that moment, when the world is still asleep, when most people are hitting snooze for the third time, a single ant emerges from beneath the soil. She's no bigger than a grain of sand. Her colony depends on her. Her family depends on her. But right now, standing at the entrance of her world, she doesn't feel like a hero. She feels small. She steps forward onto the dirt, her 6 tiny legs carrying a body that weighs less than a feather. The air is cool. The ground is rough. And then she sees it. A single kernel of wheat. Lying there in the dirt like a golden boulder. It's easily 50 times her size, maybe more. Most people would walk right past it. Most people would say it's impossible. Most people would convince themselves it wasn't meant for them. But she doesn't walk past it. She stops. She stares. And for just a second, that voice creeps in. You know the one, that voice that lives in all of us. The one that whispers when no one else is around. It says, "You're too small for this. This isn't your fight. Let someone else handle it." And man, that voice sounds reasonable, doesn't it? It sounds logical. It sounds safe. But here's the thing about that voice. It's a liar. So she takes one step closer, then another. She positions herself at the base of that wheat kernel, digs her legs into the earth, and pushes. Nothing. She pushes harder. Strains every muscle in her tiny frame. Still nothing. The kernel doesn't budge. Not even a millimeter. She steps back, chest heaving, legs shaking. And around her, life goes on. Other ants march past her in perfect lines, locked into their routines, focused on their own missions. Nobody stops. Nobody stares. Nobody laughs at her. But nobody helps either. And isn't that the truth? When you're out there chasing something big, something that scares you, something that makes people uncomfortable, you realize real quick that most folks won't mock you. But they won't join you either. They'll just keep walking, so there she is. Alone with her dream and a kernel that won't move. And quitting? Man, quitting feels like the smartest thing in the world right now. It feels like relief. It feels like freedom. But deep down, beneath the exhaustion, beneath the doubt, something else stirs. Something stronger. She plants her legs again, firms her grip, lowers her head. And she pushes. This time something shifts, just barely. Just a fraction of an inch. But it moves. She stops, catches her breath, looks at the kernel. It moved. It actually moved. So she does it again. Another push, another tiny shift, and again and again. No explosions, no fireworks, no cheering crowd. Just her, the dirt, and a dream that's slowly, painfully, beautifully coming to life. Minutes turn into an hour. The sun climbs higher, hotter. Sweat she didn't know she had drips down her face. Her legs are screaming, her back is on fire. The anthill, her home, still looks 1,000,000 miles away. Every single cell in her body is begging her to stop. But she doesn't. Because she's learned something most people never figure out. Progress isn't about giant leaps. It's about showing up. One more time, one more push, one more breath. Discipline isn't sexy. It doesn't trend on social media. It doesn't get you instant gratification, but it's the only thing that works. So she keeps going. One push, one breath, one step, that's it. That's the formula. And then, something beautiful happens. From across the field, another ant notices her. He's been watching. He sees the struggle. He sees the discipline. He sees someone who refused to quit. And without saying a word, without needing an explanation, he walks over and pushes beside her. No grand speeches. No motivational quotes. Just action. Moments later, another ant joins. Then another. Then 5 more. A small army of believers, drawn not by her words, but by her work. Together, they push. Together, they pull. Together, they grind. And that kernel? It starts moving faster. The impossible becomes possible. The dream becomes real. Hours pass. The sun begins its descent, painting the sky in shades of orange and crimson. And finally, as shadows stretch long across the earth, they reach it. The anthill, home. The colonel tumbles into the entrance. Safe, secure. Food for today. Food for tomorrow. Food for the days and weeks to come. The smallest ant, the one who started it all, stands there covered in dust, muscles trembling, barely able to stand. But she's smiling, not because the colonel was heavy, not because others showed up, but because she discovered a truth that will change her forever, that the size of your dream doesn't matter. The size of your body doesn't matter. What matters is the size of your heart and the strength of your discipline. She learned that small steps, taken consistently, with unshakable discipline, and amplified through teamwork, can move mountains, can build empires, can change the world. So let me ask you something. What's your kernel? What's that thing sitting in front of you right now that feels too big, too heavy, too impossible? Maybe it's starting that business. Maybe it's getting in shape. Maybe it's writing that book, launching that podcast, going back to school, leaving that toxic relationship, or finally believing you're worth more than you've been settling for. Whatever it is, I need you to hear this. You don't need to move it all today. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need permission from anyone. You just need to take the next step. Push one more time, show up tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, because here's what nobody tells you. Consistency beats talent. Discipline beats motivation. And a person who refuses to quit will always outlast someone who's merely gifted. The world is full of people with big dreams and zero discipline. Don't be one of them. Be the ant. Be the one who shows up when it's hard, who pushes when nobody's watching, who keeps going when quitting makes sense. And watch what happens. Watch how the universe responds to relentless action. Watch how the right people start showing up. Watch how what seemed impossible 6 months ago becomes your new normal. You are not too small. Your dream is not too big. You just haven't pushed long enough yet, so get back out there. Find your kernel, plant your feet, and push. Because even the tiniest effort, when repeated with discipline and shared through teamwork, can move anything. That's the power you hold. That's the power of the ant and the heavy grain. Now go prove it.